The Trump administration is working on a 50-year mortgage plan for young homeowners. But what does that mean for you? So in a recent tweet on Truth Social and on Twitter, President Trump has proposed a new 50-year mortgage. So as you know, right now, the most common mortgage that everybody uses is a 30-year mortgage, which was introduced, according to President Trump's tweet, by FDR. And he's now saying he'll be proposing a 50-year mortgage. And the title of the tweet was Great Presidents. Now, is this a good idea? Well, we're going to check out the numbers in one of my Excel templates. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Emeka. I have a course on Udemy called Practical Excel Skills for Business. Link will be in the comments below. I also have a lot of the course content here on YouTube as well. Just check it out in this channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like what we're doing. And this template that we're using for this video is available for sale, and a link for that will be in the comments below. So, most of you already know about the 30-year mortgage loan, right? You get a loan from the bank and you get 30 years to pay it off. What the president's proposing is now, instead of 30 years to pay it off, you'll have 50 years to pay it off. And the idea behind this is, if you have a longer time to pay it off, then your monthly payments will be lower, and that will make it easier for younger people who are getting into the market to be able to afford homes. Now, what are the trade-offs with this? Let's look at my Excel sheet to see. So right now, I have my Excel sheet open. The pieces that are in white are the pieces that we would update. The rest will be updated automatically. So what is the price of the home I want to buy? Well, let's say I'm trying to buy a $400,000 home. In today's market, that would actually be considered a very low priced home. So what would the down payment be? Well, if you're a first-time homeowner, maybe you're paying a 5% down payment. So that means you're going to pay $20,000 down payment for this house, right? And let's say you're doing it with 30 years. So you're going to pay it over 30 years, and your interest rate that you're going to get is, I don't know, maybe 6%. Say you have good credit and you have 6%. So what that means is your principal plus your interest would be $2,278 per month. That's what you'll be paying on principal and interest. Now, that number doesn't include what you'll pay for homeowners insurance, in some cases mortgage insurance, housing, your home tax. I'm not including any of that. Just for the purposes of this, I want to tell you that your principal and interest will be that. Now, in my Excel sheet, I do have numbers available for you to calculate what it would be if you put in your homeowners insurance, your yearly homeowners insurance, if you have mortgage insurance, what that will be, your PMI, things like that. And it will give you your total monthly mortgage amount. So you'll notice that your total monthly mortgage amount will actually be higher than just your principal and interest amount, because principal and interest just is the calculation of your principal and your interest. But what you'll actually be paying monthly will include other things like tax, insurance, and things like that. And even HOA, if you live in a home that has an HOA, right? A homeowners association. So you have an ability to add that amount. So I'm going to ignore that for the purposes of this video, but this template allows you to calculate that as well, right? So on a 30-year loan, you would be paying $2,278 in principal and interest on a $400,000 house. Now, if you had a 50-year loan for the same interest, you'd be paying $2,000 a month. Let's look at the mortgage schedule. Your mortgage schedule is really the repayment amount for the loan you've taken. So as you can see here, the beginning balance is $380,000. That's because we bought a home for $400,000. We did a down payment of $20,000. Therefore, we took a loan of $380,000. We're paying our principal and interest on that loan. And the principal is what you pay down towards the loan. So every month, the amount that goes towards the principal reduces the balance of the loan. So you start off with $380,000, you pay $378 in principal. That means the next month, your balance would be $380 minus $379. So that's how much equity you really still have in your house. And as time goes on, you'll notice that the amount you pay towards the principal increases while the amount you pay towards the interest is decreasing. So that's why in mortgage payments, really at the beginning, right, of your payment, you're paying a lot more in interest and less in principal. So that's why a lot of people say don't sell your house so quickly after buying it, because you're really going to lose because you don't have a lot of equity in the house, and really you've just paid a lot of interest to the banks. Speaking of principal and interest, let's look at that. Let's analyze that here on the sheet. So the first thing I want you to notice here is I have a calculation of how much you would pay in entirety in interest if you keep the home for the full 30 years. So you can see here, on a 30-year loan for a $400,000 house, after 30 years, you would have paid $440,000 in interest. So the house costs $400,000, and you pay $440,000 in interest when you hold the house for 30 years. Now, if you were to hold the house for 50 years, yes, your monthly principal and interest is down by $200. So I guess that's going to help some people. But now your total interest that you're going to pay over the 50 years is $820,000. Over almost $1 million in interest that you're going to give to the banks over a 50-year period if you now change to a 50-year loan, right? So another thing we want to look at is how much it will cost you just when you want to sell. So let's say you've stayed in the house for 12 months. That's 1 year. So after 1 year on a 30-year loan, you would have paid $4,200 in principal and about $20,000 in interest. So that's about 1.12% of your entire loan amount you've paid back after staying there for 1 year, right? And that's on the 30-year loan. Now on the 50-year loan, after 1 year, you'd have paid $1,100, which is only 0.3% of the entire amount. And still around $20,000 in interest. So notice the amount you're paying in interest, whether you're on the 50-year or on the 30-year, is still pretty steady. The banks aren't losing on interest. You are definitely paying less in your monthly amounts, but your equity in the house, you don't own the house for a longer amount of time. So these are the things you got to think about. Right? Your interest, what you pay to the bank is a lot more. Your ownership in stake in your house doesn't increase that much. It takes a longer time to achieve it. Let's see how much it would cost. Let's say you had a rent of $2,800 a month. In that same 12-month period, your rent would have been $33,600. So in a 12-month period, you would have paid a rent of $33,600. So the argument is, yeah, it's better to own instead because you would have paid $4,000 towards your house instead of paying $33,000 to rent that you're just losing money. But in that same period, you've paid $20,000 in interest, and you've only paid $4,000 towards your house. So, and if we add in what you paid as a down payment, you've probably lost money, right? You paid $20,000 in down payment, you have all these closing costs, you've lost money. So that's why they say in order to really make money in your home, you got to stay in the home longer, right? So let's say you've been in the home for, let's say, 60 months, 5 years. Then, after 5 years, you've paid $25,000 towards paying off your house. In 5 years, you've paid $100,000 to the bank in interest. They don't mind if you sell the house because somebody else will get a 30-year loan and they'll start the whole interest payments all over again. And in that time, you've paid $168,000 in rent if you were renting. I'm just letting you see the opportunity cost here. So, yeah. So instead of paying $168,000 in rent over 5 years, you could have over 5 years saved $25,000 and paid $100,000 in interest. So I just hope you're seeing the numbers and understanding why, buying a home is definitely, I say it's definitely worth it. But now let's look at this at 50 years. At 50 years, once again, if you were renting, this is what you would have paid, $168,000. But now, after 5 years in the home, you've only paid 1.8% of the loan, but you've paid $110,000 in interest. $110,000 in interest to the bank. And you've only paid $6,000 down. Guys, you've only saved $6,000 for yourself. Because part of the benefit of homeownership is that instead of throwing away your money in rent, you're paying down your loan. And so you're saving your money. It's kind of forced savings. Well, your savings here is $6,800 after staying in the house for 5 years, right? If you were renting, you would have paid $168,000. But as you can see, during this time period, you've paid that amount in monthly payments as well, right? Because if you look at your mortgage, $2,975. So I guess I'm just showing you these numbers to show you that moving from a 30-year to a 50-year, there's a lot of things to look at it. If you're a first-time homeowner, if you're like a young person looking to buy, yes, it's easy to just quickly look at this principal and interest amount and say, oh wow, I'm saving $200 if I don't pay a 30-year loan and instead I get a 50-year loan. But if you look at what you're really losing, you're paying an additional $400,000 in interest over the period of time. It's taking you way longer to really save anything in the house. And the banks get way more money.